Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is the Hermit and Six of Swords. Looks like you're finished thinking about something. If you're not finished, you could be spending time to yourself. Hermit is going to be a time of reflection, but it feels like after that period is over, it can be a time of reflection. You can be looking for answers. You can be looking into something. You can just be spending some time alone. Six of Swords feels like once I'm done with that, I'm then going to move forward, but I need to do this first. So there can be something that you need to think about or something that you need to figure out, or again, just time on your own that you need. And then once you have that, some of you even, I get the sense that you could have just like needed time alone. You could have been feeling agitated or something like that, and you just needed to be in your own space to sort of come back to a grounded place in order to analyze and understand what you were feeling and what you were thinking, and then be able to move forward after that. Feels most of all being in a place of understanding with yourself and what you're experiencing, what's coming up for you. But yeah, I do get the feeling of you sort of like needing to be on your own to do this. But then once that's done, I'm seeing you move forward. So it's not like you stay stuck within that. So you're like, I'm thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and it's like making matters worse. I'm seeing this be more so like, I'm gonna take this time. After I have that time, then I can like move forward. And I'm seeing it be moved forward in a place of understanding of I'm recognizing what was going on. But I did need that time. I get this being like even some form of self-care that you're doing, but it can be not the usual type of self-care. Figuring out stuff related to your future, where things are going, what you're feeling now and where that's going later down the line, like where that's going to lead. Feels like that's coming up. Seven of Cups can be a time where it can feel like a lot's going on or a lot's coming up for you emotionally, and you can be trying to figure out what this means as far as like where you're going to be going based off of this. Like, what is this trying to tell me, and what moves do I make based off of that, or like where is this going to lead? And you can also feel too like you're making progress understanding complex emotions. I'm seeing 3-3-3 here. We have 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups. To start off with the Hermit, I'm seeing this be you sort of being alone, but by the time we get over here to 3 of Pentacles and 3 of Cups, it feels like something can feel like it's reconciled within you. And I'm wondering too if this brings you closer with someone too, where it feels like now I can come to the table with something, because 3 of Pentacles can be like there was something that I needed to figure out based off of what's going on prior to that. And then 3 of Pentacles is stepping into a collaborative space. Having 3 of Cups, it can be something where another person or other people are involved, but you feel like you actually have information to come to the table with now. Whereas before, if you're like all over the place and you don't know what's going on for you, you can be like, I don't really even know what to say here because I need time to process and figure out what's going on with me. After you spend time doing that, it feels like then you can show up and be like, okay, I can give my 2 cents, or like now we can try to have a discussion about this, like that type of thing. And then having 3 of Cups be there, it feels like it ends in a really good place. But it seems like you did also need that time to yourself in order to get over to the 3 of Cups. Because if you didn't take care of yourself in this way and you tried to show up within the 3 of Cups, I feel like you wouldn't have been in the right place energetically to be able to do that, to be able to connect and to actually be like, okay, we're understanding each other now, like that type of thing. Because you have to be in a place of understanding with yourself if you have any hope to be in a place of understanding with another person. especially when it comes to what's going on with you. But yeah, I'm seeing things end well. So this is like on a high note that you would see. Okay. Looking more and more like this has to do with some relationship of yours. Something that was being figured out, reflected upon. You could have felt like you needed space from this person. Like for those of you that this is somebody that you're close with them or you spend a lot of time with them, maybe you live with this person, having Hermit above feels like I need a break. I need to step away from the relationship in order to understand what's going on with me and what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. But at the end of it, I do get the sense of like things come back together with this person, but the Hermit can be like, I need some time to myself right now. Yeah, I get a sense of clashing that was happening with you and this person. Just like not looking very agreeable is what this is seeming like. You know, you can have your own way that you like to do things. This other person can maybe be a bit stubborn or have their own way of doing things. You could have felt like, I just need my own space right now. I get that. But this is a good thing. I'm not seeing it be bad that you take space. When I say bad, I mean specifically, I'm not seeing this be something that would be destructive to your relationship. I'm actually seeing this be something that would be more helpful to your relationship with this person. I do get the sense that there are some areas that you really do clash, but I also get the sense that things about this are being realized too at the same time. The Lovers and the Hierophant can be somebody that you have some type of commitment, whether it be like a paper commitment that you have with this person or a spiritual commitment that you have with this person. Having Neptune come out with the Hanged Man can be needing to see that like you guys can both have your own ways of thinking about things and your own like belief systems or your own philosophies or ways that you prefer to go through life, and that like both of these ways are able to sort of coexist with one another. But maybe you guys were infringing upon one another's space or something like that. Because I get this feeling again of feeling agitated and like not wanting to be controlled. And you could have felt oppressed by something here. Can definitely have to do with like how the other person is sort of looking at you and been like, I need to go into my own space right now. Like I don't want to have to be bothered by your rules, you know? Hierophant can be somebody else's rules or like superstitions about things or how they believe stuff should be done. And so having to sort of be in that space where you have your own version of that and this person has their own version of that, and then being like in close proximity, it feels like having some type of I need this time to myself right now is what actually helps. And also too, having the Hanged Man here feels like there's a more encompassing, more all-encompassing understanding that this is coming from a place of you being in one space with your beliefs and this other person being in another space within their beliefs. And so I'm not seeing this necessarily have to be reduced to anything or even like a you're right or you're not right or like anything like that. It feels more so like being able to see that there's a validity to your stuff and there's a validity to this other person's stuff, and that could have been something that was throwing you off before. Just that needed to be reflected upon, because the way that I'm seeing the Hanged Man come out, it's like wanting to come out upright, and what this will mean is that there's sort of this understanding that one is coming to, and I feel like this is about, I don't feel like tolerance is the right word necessarily, just because tolerance is like, okay, I'm tolerating this. This feels like maybe getting into a place that's like more accepting than what the connotation of tolerance is. I feel too like something important is being seen here, because with the Hierophant, you have your own beliefs, right? Like your stuff that you think is important, and like the rules that you live by, and how you normally do stuff, like how stuff is normally done in your eyes. And seeing that that is has just as much a depth of preference that is not neutral as your counterpart, for the sake of this reading, has. And seeing that it's like nobody here is black, nobody here is white. It's like both of you guys are just a different color. And so you're like somewhere on this scale of things when it comes to this stuff. And it feels like recognizing that, because if you were neutral, there wouldn't be clashing happening, but you're not neutral. Neither of you guys are. And I get a sense of, I'm recognizing why this happens and where this is coming from and where both of us are with things. And this feels like I'm opening up to a higher energetic and spiritual understanding of things here. And I do feel like there's progress that's able to be made. I get the sense that like the word tolerance can be used just to articulate like the idea of what's happening, of being like more accepting of like you have your own stuff, like I have my stuff, and we can coexist with one another. But what was happening initially could have been more of like a standoff that was happening, and sort of needing to split up for a minute and go your separate ways momentarily. Especially with your energy, like I get the feeling of just being like lay off, you know, like go in your own space and do your thing. And I think that this is also bringing to light too, where you stand in a space sometimes and you're like, it's supposed to be like this, and this other person can feel like the same way that you're feeling, but towards you. Maybe this isn't the most like ideal situation in this area of your relationship dynamic with this person. At the same time, it feels like this is something that maybe you'll be able to compromise on with them. Yeah, you could have not known initially what to do with this. Like, how was the best way to show up and handle this? I do feel like it's putting things into perspective that have to do with your future. Like, just being realistic with where this person is. This can be, you know, an example for this can be like you have some type of spiritual beliefs or traditions, and this other person may have like a religion or something like that. This can be one of those times where you're seeing that like maybe for right now, like they're not going to be in the same place that you are, and vice versa. And this can be something where you're getting a clear idea of like, oh, like we may stay having these like separate or differing beliefs, or like not a total overlap of these things or of these ways of doing things. And so I'm seeing like what the trajectory of this is going to be like. And there can even be a question of like, am I okay with that? I think that I'm okay with that. You know, like whatever your answer is for you. With the upright Hanged Man and Three of Wands, it feels like sort of seeing where this would lead then. I do get the sense of this being complicated, and I do get the sense too that initially you could have felt like it was the other person, and in taking a closer look at that, you could have realized, oh, it's both of us. Like that's allowing this type of dynamic to be playing out. Compromise, flexibility. Yeah. So after you spend your time reflecting on things and figuring out the best way to move forward then and being just realistic about what's going on and where things are going, I'm seeing you come to the table and be able to really just articulate sort of your side of things. It's like I had to be away from you and I had to figure this stuff out, and then I'm seeing like the same character come into the Three of Pentacles, like I'm saying my side of things and this is how I feel, and then you're going to also allow space for active listening to listen to the other person. So rather than it being this clashing, it's more like we're trying to work together now, and seeing that we're just like figuring stuff out on the same team, you know, like that type of thing, like compromise, flexibility, trying to be understanding, seeing where I may be more rigid than I initially thought. It can be like those types of things. And I feel like there's a bonding, like an emotional bonding actually that happens, because there is a practical side to this, yes, but you see that in working with this other person, having the Three of Cups is like, oh, like maybe we still have our own beliefs about this, but there's this sense of being close with this person because things are being spoken about and there's intimacy within that. We're just here trying to figure it out together, like that type of thing that I get. And like both of us are trying to like learn and adapt and understand and work within the dynamic together, work within the relationship together. And so Three of Cups feels like that unifying force. Yeah, the unifying force to bring things together and feel like you're back in a grounded place emotionally after not having been feeling like that. I get too, this is something that could have tested your patience or really like tested you from an emotional standpoint of how well you're dealing with things when they feel frustrating, when stuff feels inconvenient, when things are bringing up stuff from the past for you, like that type of thing. But then I'm seeing things end in a really great spot where I just get this sense of like we're working together, we're figuring things out, we're in a place of understanding now where we weren't before with one another, like we're being vulnerable here, we're sharing, and then feeling like there's this sense of, oh, like this is how you work through things like this, like that type of thing. I'm looking at Virgo, Gemini, Taurus, Aries. We also have Neptune here too. Neptune can have to do with our beliefs, and Neptune can, especially Neptune being reversed, it can be a time where maybe something that wasn't accepted or realized is becoming accepted and realized, and you may find that you're actually okay with something even though before you may have had like a different idea about it. It can be like that type of thing that ends up happening. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.